here with KiT's T.O. Feely at NEC15. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. A little tired, but good.
Fair enough.
Now, I know I was speaking to you earlier, and you are currently running the Tekken brackets this year for NEC.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit how that's been going for you today and how the tournament's been.
Yeah, Tekken today's been really good. We started early in the morning, ran both polls, and everything's fine. We got top 16 today, so we'll have top 8 tomorrow, and that'll be at 3 p.m. So everything ran smoothly. In the beginning, usually for most tournaments, any kind of on-site registration will hold things up. But once we got that under control, everything went smooth. So it was good.
Well, that's good to hear. And I think it's you have the top 16 now, so
We did top 16 today, and top 8 is tomorrow.
Top 8's tomorrow.
Yes.
And I think fighting GM as well is in that top.
Yes, of course. Yeah, as far as Big E tournaments or most tournaments in general, fighting GM, he's a very high-end top contender. So I would be very surprised if he didn't win, if not place top 3.
Speaking of Tekken, I know that recently they announced not that long ago Harada announced Tekken 7, and I know Tekken 7 has a lot of changes to it that a lot of players weren't expecting. Tell us your views on that and how you think it's going to affect the community.
Okay. As far as Tekken 7 goes, I think Namco and Harada are moving towards the right direction. In order for a game to move forward, it has to force change. It has to evolve itself and move on from it. The biggest thing for the current Tekken Tag 2 is, the veterans play it, but the biggest thing is that the industry will notice as far as Namco and Harada themselves. I'm pretty sure you notice that the number of the new players are low, but you have games like Street Fighter who are consistently getting new players entering and joining in. So, the direction that they're going, I believe, they're changing it. They're making it more accessible to new players and to cater still to the veteran players that still play. So I think they're heading towards the right direction. But the biggest thing that's important is they're willing to make change. They're not saying, hey, this is our game, play it or like it or leave it. So for me, looking at the past Tekken histories, looks like it's almost like a Tekken 4 reinvention again. Because Tekken 4 was a major drastic change from any previous Tekken before then. And that helped pave the way to where they're at now, with the changes that they have. So.
Right, and I know that there's a lot of changes going on, even with like Mortal Kombat 10 and now Street Fighter 5 recently.
Yes.
In the past 24-48 hours where that video was released, and I think I actually was speaking to someone today, and they told me that PlayStation had some type of a convention or conference or an event, and they actually released gameplay for Street Fighter 5, and I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I'm actually really excited and I want to, but I know that already people have been talking about the drastic changes that all 3 of these games now have, and some seemed not so keen to it. They didn't like the change, and others wanted it completely to be changed. But I personally feel like if you want the game to continue to grow, if everybody wants the FGC to continue to grow, the game developers are going to have to come up with things that not only make the veterans happy, but are also going to make any newcomers happy and interested in the game to pull them in. Would you agree?
I agree. It's definitely, for a developer standpoint, it's really tough to find the best of both worlds. But, as I said earlier, for any game, you have to evolve with the community, with the players, because if you don't, you can't progress, you can't move forward. Because nobody wants to play the same thing. If it's exactly the same, it doesn't change, it gets stale, it gets static. So that's why the games have new things, like for Street Fighter now, the ultra combos and Mega Mode, Focus, Focus. When Focus first came out, that's an extremely new concept. No one used it, and no one really understood why it was there. But if you look at today's tournaments now, if you don't focus, you're not a tournament player. It's just the game itself has evolved from that, and I think especially for Street Fighter, they took it from Third Strike. You got the parry system, which is complicated, but towards the end of the Street Fighter 3, parry, everyone could pretty much parry. It's a lot easier to parry than when compared to when it first came out.
Right, and I think in Third
Focus is the
Strike,
same thing.
I think in Third Strike they even had that option for you to practice parrying.
Yeah.
Just like now they have the options in Street Fighter to practice different focus cancels and moves in the one section of the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. So.
And going back to Tekken for a moment here, I know that when I spoke before, you stated that Kumite in Tennessee was actually primarily started because of Tekken and the Tekken community.
Yes.
And I know that KiT is coming up very quickly, the next one for 2015, and it is next month.
Yes, next month, January 9th, 10th, and 11th. And so second weekend of January, so it's coming up real soon. And it's it's the next major line after this.
And can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect with this year's tournament? Do you have any fun surprises for us? Any changes?
As far as surprises, I mean, we pretty much advertise everything. The biggest thing is we have the venue open late, for Friday and Saturday nights. We pretty much, you don't have to worry about finding a salty sweet. You can just stay at the venue. So when we're open till 3 in the morning. On both those nights, so you don't have to hunt for rooms and find places. You're already at the venue, just stay and play, which we believe will help promote the community, and it just makes it fun in general. Because a lot of people stay up late, but trying to jump between different rooms, jumping, that's tough. Because you don't want to leave a current room you're in to hang out with other people, but when you get to that room, you don't want to leave that room either. So we find it's just easier.
And then you realize it's 4 a.m. And
So just have the venue. So that's something we've introduced for this one.
Well, that's nice.
And
I'd be interested to see how that.
Yeah. So we're branching out to other things too. Like we have Mario Kart this year.
Oh really?
So it's a paid tournament.
Which Mario Kart?
The new one, Mario Kart 8.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, and we're guaranteeing $500. So top 3 payout, and it has a trophy. So we're treating it just like as if it's a fighting game. Except it's a Mario Kart. So.
Have you had a lot of people pre-register
yes,
for Mario?
Yes,
really?
Mario Kart surprisingly has a good amount of pre-registrants.
Wow, that's exciting to see.
Yeah, so no, it's Mario Kart, so it's fun. It's fun. A lot of people enjoy it, and I notice a lot of players that register for one game just add Mario Kart, just because why not? So we figured we'd give them something to play and have fun in.
Definitely.
And we haven't seen Mario Kart in the competitive level, so.
No, you haven't. So I'd definitely be interested to watch that and see kind of that hype level when it comes to that as a fighting game tournament. Now I know that KiT also sponsors players. In fact, you sponsor some of the current top players right now in the community as Cloud 805 and Forever King.
Yes.
Are you currently scouting, or will you be scouting out for new players this year at KiT?
For coming up KiT, as far as scouting, we as a tournament group, we're always scouting, actually, believe it or not. Even now, even for NEC, I'm always looking for any new players to help promote our name and just put under our flag. To join the ranks of the 2 players you name. Also, we got Little Majin, nice one. Marcus or Potato Salad is another tag name. So we're always looking to grow our family, grow our community. So that's the biggest thing. But for KiT, obviously we have a keen eye. It's at our event. Believe it or not, that's where I saw Forever King, which was after KiT. And I met him in person, and really enjoyed his personality. Awesome, super phenomenal guy, and a good player. So I did pick him up after KiT this year. As far as for other players like Cloud, Cloud didn't go to KiT. So for him, I knew him through the industry and through the tournaments and stuff. So that's how I knew about him.
Okay. And what is it that you look for when you're considering a player for sponsorship?
To be honest, I almost treat it like as if I look at it as KiT as a business. So whenever you're hiring an employee, you want to find an employee that'll fit and match the company. So in this case, I treat KiT as the company or the family, however you want to say it. So I look for personality. Make sure he fits with us. He or she fits with us. And then outside of that, obviously the generic. If he's good at the game, well known in the community. but ultimately the personality is key, you know, because you can't practice better to change your personality. You are who you are.
No, you're right.
And that's what I look for. I look to find somebody who's a good fit for us, and then I talk to them, meet them, and then we go from there.
So you would approach that. You wouldn't want them to approach you, or would you accept it
Either
either
or.
way?
Either or. Yeah, I've had people approach me, and I've talked to them. You know, unfortunately, you know, I've had people approach me for games that we had sponsors for. I do want to add more players for any particular game that we have a player for already. But obviously, like anything else, you know, budget.
Yeah.
So you know, we want to keep it to you know, minimal and have enough to spread throughout all the games.
Do you sponsor any anime?
As of right now, not anime specific. Little Majin, he's primarily a Tekken player, but he's really good at anime. He's really good at Guilty Gear, to be specific. But we didn't sponsor him specifically just for Guilty Gear. Tekken is his main.
It's more for Tekken. That would make sense.
But he still wins tournaments for Guilty Gear, so that's like a bonus, I guess.
It is a nice bonus for you.
It is a bonus.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I do have one last question for you.
Yes. No problem.
If you could be one superhero and one fighting game character, who would it be and why?
Okay. Superhero, I would say Batman. Just because. Like the same argument for, but Batman is essentially a hero that has no powers. So I mean, he basically outwits the villains and bad guys. So I do like that aspect of him. And outside of that, he can live a normal life, I guess. I mean, obviously, yeah, he's rich and famous, but he can still be like a human as opposed to a superhuman as well, or superhero as well. As far as video game character, I'm just gonna be cheap and say Virgil.
Virgil. That wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, Virgil, just because he wins.
Because he wins.
He just wins. You can't beat him.
That's okay.
You can't beat him. He can single-handedly take it down the whole team. So yeah, as a fighting game character, I think he's a cool guy. Yeah, I mean, I like the Devil May Cry series. You know, cool series, really fun game to play. But to see a character from a non-fighting game series converted into a fighting game series is very interesting to me. You know, I do like the cross platform, I guess, the companies do. So Capcom did a really cool thing with Virgil. Obviously, he's overpowered. He's just too much for the game. But if I had to pick somebody, I would pick him.
You like the cross platform. So what are your I have another question.
Yeah.
Real quick, what are your views on the potential quote unquote Tekken cross Street Fighter that's kind of up in the air, in the works, no one's really sure?
Well, Harada said several times, and you can see it on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, he will make the game. To me personally, I think it's too soon for them to release something, just because Tekken requires a lot in order to mesh with Street Fighter. So I mean, they're two drastically different games.
Oh yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. I think they have a lot ahead to work with ahead. But I mean, I think they're already in line of making it. You know, between Tekken 7, adding some kind of super mechanics, and then Pokken. You know, those two games, I think they're very similar to what.
Fighting game. Yeah. I wish we could play that. I would.
Yeah. So.
I would be all of it.
You know, if I had to guess, you know, that version might be those games combined to flesh it out to be, you know, Tekken extra. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I'd be interested to see how that turns out as well.
Yeah, it'll be crazy.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of NEC.
NEC, yep.
And
yeah, no, NEC's been great. I love NEC. I always try to make it to big E events. He runs a great tournament. Super awesome guy. Yeah, super awesome.
I don't know how he pulls all this together.
And yeah, these events are always cool. So many people to see, and it's just, you know, FGC, you know, big family. That's really.
It is one big family.
It's really big.
I've learned that very quickly.
Cannot miss NEC. NEC is a good one to go to. But I'm enjoying every bit of it, and I can't wait till tomorrow for finals.